having had sort of 10 years of running property management short-term rentals in Scotland, which is renowned for its very unstable weather, especially across the summer months. To be fair, we've never actually reduced a price because of bad weather, because what we find is people in Scotland will book well ahead of the game for summer holidays. And a lot of people who will just come knowing that, well, it could be bad, doesn't matter, we still want to go, we want the area and everything that it offers. But what I would say is, I think a lot of it is to do with how proactive you can be to keep your guests up to date with what might be happening. So for me, communication is key here. So there's 3 things you can put in properties just to try and help guests should there suddenly be bad weather. You can put things to do on a rainy day into the house manual. You can provide some umbrellas there if they don't think about bringing it. You can tell them where to buy things for wet weather if they need to. But I think for a lot of guests, that the expectation when they go on holiday is, yeah, we're going to have a great time. We'll be able to go to outdoor festivals if we want, or an outdoor event. But that doesn't always happen. So I think for me, communicating with them, because I think if you live in Scotland, you're obsessed with the weather anyway. You're always watching the weather. You're always on to see what weather's like. And I know certainly from a property manager's point of view, when you see a bad week in July coming up, you can't, it's your first thing is, oh gosh, right, check the weather. Oh, we've got rain coming this week or whatever's happening. I think as well looking at your location you're at. Now, I've been in a location where our properties are only accessible by a ferry. So, of course, that can be affected really badly with bad weather, which means cancellations. People can't get off the island. They can't leave the properties. They can't get to the properties. And it can cause an awful lot of stress. So, for us, it's a very much a case of keeping an eye on what the ferries are doing, keeping an eye on the weather. Contact your guests, let them know, because quite often they're not thinking about the weather when they're on holiday, and that's up to you to do. So I think when you've got that local knowledge, you know what's happening around about, you know what's going to affect people, keep in contact with them, give them their support, be proactive in your messaging. If you're putting messages out there to let them know, we see this weather's coming, you're due to come and stay, bring your waterproofs, do this, give them advice what they can do so that they're not put off by it, but actually they can still come and enjoy themselves. But sometimes it's just that bit of proactive sort of messages to them. It's that communication to them and keeping them up to date. Because at the end of the day, as property managers are in our area, we're the ones that know what's happening. The guests aren't necessarily looking around them for that. And if they've never been, then they don't know. So I'm very much about trying to make that guest experience as good as possible.